When people think about the fall of Rome, they usually picture very epic scenes. Barbarians at the gates, legions collapsing on the battlefield, palace intrigues. But the truth is a bit more uncomfortable, because what brought Rome down wasn't just enemies from the outside, it was what was happening inside, and the most subtle, most invisible enemy within was money. Now think about this. An empire, one of the most powerful in the world. Everything is organized, everything runs like a system. And at the core of that system is a currency, the denarius, made of silver, solid, reliable. When people looked at it, they didn't just see metal. They thought, this is real, this is trustworthy. Soldiers were paid with it, merchants traded with it, ordinary people saved with it. So this wasn't just economics, this money was the embodiment of trust in Rome itself. But this is exactly where things start to change, because as the empire grows, so do the expenses. Borders expand leads to more soldiers are needed. Wars increase leads to more money is needed. Cities grow leads to more infrastructure is needed, and at some point, revenues stop keeping up. The state has two options: either raise taxes, which people hate, or do something most people won't notice at first. Guess which one they chose? They hollowed out the money, so it's still the same denarius, but not really. From the outside, it looks the same, but inside, the silver content keeps shrinking. This is a very important point, one you really need to pay attention to, because what it actually means is this: the state is quietly reducing the value of money, hoping people won't notice. At first, it seems to work. More coins are minted, the system keeps going. But people aren't stupid. After a while, they start to notice, wait a second, this isn't the same money as before. And that's the breaking point, because money isn't really metal, it's trust. And once trust is gone, everything starts collapsing like dominoes. Everything turns upside down. Prices go up. Merchants say, I won't accept this. People say, I won't save this. In some places, people even go back to barter. Just imagine, in an empire like Rome, people are back to saying, I'll give you wheat, you give me oil. At that point, it's no longer just an economic problem, it's the system cracking. Even soldiers begin to revolt. We can't live on this pay. So what does the state do? It doubles down on the same mistake, prints more money. But that's like pouring gasoline on a fire, because the more money there is, the less it's worth, and the less it's worth, the more trust disappears. And just like that, a vicious cycle forms. Then everything goes off the rails. By the 3rd century, Rome is almost unrecognizable. Civil wars, plagues, economic collapse, emperors constantly changing. From the outside, it looks like a political crisis, but underneath, it's an economic collapse. The state panics. Let's fix prices, they say. They even introduce the death penalty for those who don't comply. But here's the truth. If you've broken the money, no law can save you. People do what they always do. Black markets explode, the official economy collapses, and in the end, Rome gives up. All right, this currency doesn't work, they admit. They introduce a new, stronger one. But trust, once it's gone, it's not easy to bring back. And if you had to sum up Rome's fall in one sentence, a system that hollowed itself out from within eventually collapsed under its own weight. Up to this point, it might feel like just history. But this is where it gets real, because this story doesn't belong only to Rome. The same thing happened in Germany. The same thing happened in Zimbabwe. Every time, the pattern is the same. The state spends, prints money, Money loses value, people get poorer, the system breaks. The only difference is speed. In some places, the collapse is fast. In others, it's slow, almost invisible. Today, no one says the money has collapsed. But everyone feels this. You can't buy what you used to. Same money, not the same value, and that's the most dangerous part because it's silent. No one panics overnight. But over time, everyone notices, and trust slowly erodes. What makes today different is this. This system isn't limited to one country anymore. The whole world runs on something similar: high debt, high money supply, and a system built on trust. So if a serious break happens somewhere, it may not stay local. So what should we take away from all this? It's actually simple, but important. First, inflation is rarely an accident. Second, money is not always as strong as it looks. And most importantly, no system stays stable forever. People in Rome didn't think their money would end up like that. People in Germany didn't think bread would cost billions. But it happened. So this isn't just a story about the past, it's a warning. Because in the end, you realize so